if you want to make money online, this is the video for you. This is not going to be one of those videos where I'm telling you to sell a high ticket offer to someone. This is actually the complete opposite of that. I'm going to be talking about how you can sell a very low ticket offer and make a lot of money. And I'm talking about a $9 product. I interviewed Liz Wilcox and she only does one thing. She sells a $9 product and makes $40,000 every single month with this. And I had her in my private community and we were able to do a whole behind the scenes talk with her. And she dropped so many gems that I know it's gonna help me and my members generate even more income. And yes, I am putting a shameless plug out there about my private community, and we are going to be closing the doors soon. So if by the time you watch this video, check out the link, I'll put it in the description below. If the doors are closed, go ahead and join the wait list. You'll be the first to know when we open back our doors. But if they're open, take advantage of this now, because this is where we help you find, grow, and monetize your business. And if you need guidance in that area, that's the place to go. But in this video, I'm gonna let Liz tell you what product she sells and how does she sell so much of it to make $40,000 a month. You guys ready to get into it? Let's go. Liz, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in email marketing?
Yeah, so I am an email marketer. You know, when you hop on a mastermind call like this and there's some lady screaming at you, email, email, email. And then you log in and you think, I don't know what the heck to send. Well, what's up? I'm Liz Wilcox and I help eliminate that problem. But I actually started off as a very business to consumer type of business. I started as an RV travel blogger. I used to have a YouTube that was all RVing. But I got really good at the email thing. Everybody and their mother said, yeah, you know, create a YouTube, create a blog, this, that. But also, you know, you gotta get your leads, right? You don't own Facebook, you don't own Instagram. Get your leads and you can, you know, market to people that way. So the first year I launched and y'all, let this be inspiration that we are thinking too hard and we can sell whatever. Y'all, my first book was called Tales from the Black Tank. If you're unfamiliar with RVing, the black tank is where your sewage goes, if you catch my drift. And so it was just a collection of hilariously crappy RV stories. And y'all, the way that thing made something like $7,000 in the first 90 days, it got picked up by an international sponsor that gave me $7 for every lead it generated them. You know, and I was 6-7 months into blogging and being a content creator. And I just realized that the power is in the email list. So I kept creating digital product, you know, you name a product, I've tried it out. And eventually, you know, people said, Liz, how the heck are you doing this? I said, oh, I just talked to my email list. And they said, yeah, but you know, you kind of do things a little different. So that's when I knew I needed to sell that blog and business and go all in on email marketing. That was about 4 years ago. And now I'm talking to you fine people.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, now my first question is, because I'm a blogger too. Like, how are you getting traffic in those days to your blog to get people on your email list?
Yeah, so it's really the same thing I do today. It's this, a lot of collaborations. Y'all, I don't know if this is kosher. I always say I'm down with OPP, other people's platforms. And so I did a lot of guest blogging. I did a lot of what I called networking across, right? So it wasn't like I was this brand new blogger. I'm trying to get, you know, Whitney with 130,000 subscribers to feature me, right? I was trying to, you know, who else just started blogging like me, right? And how can we sort of link arms together and promote each other so we can appear bigger? And so I just made a lot of decisions around networking, around collaboration, you know, who can feature me, who can I feature? And that's still to this day what I do.
That's so smart. So you didn't have to learn like the SEO and the Pinterest. Did you do any of that?
Yeah, I did that, but my main focus was, you know, how can I be more forward facing for people that have already built an audience, right? People that are, you know, and maybe they only have 100 subscribers, but that's 100 people I don't know, right? Mm-hmm. And so, yes, of course, I learned a little bit about SEO, a little bit about Pinterest, a little bit about, you know, Facebook groups, a little bit about Instagram, but I went all in on networking, and that's I've owned 3 businesses, and that still to this day is my number one way of growing my business.
I love that. That's great advice, and it's free. You don't have to pay for that part, right?
Amen. Yeah, like I don't even know how you found me, but I'm assuming maybe it was on a podcast or you saw me in another group. In this business, I've been on over 200 podcasts and done over 100 of these little, mastermind private group trainings.
Now, okay, my first question is like, do you have someone that you hire that gets you featured on these podcasts, or is this something that you do yourself reaching out?
Oh, this is a great question. So in my RV travel days, I didn't have anyone that to hire. And I didn't have a lot of money to hire anyone. That was most of the reason why I was like, I'm not going to go Facebook ads. I'm not going to do this. I just have to grind and meet people, But when I started this email marketing business, I did hire a podcast broker who guaranteed me 2 bookings a month. And that was a way of ensuring accountability that, if I'm paying for them to pitch, I'm also going to pitch myself. And so I did that for, I think, about a year. I paid this person or this agency, and that was great. But I also got on podmatch.com. And the number one way I've been getting podcasts nowadays, because I stopped paying for that service a couple of years ago, is just in my email signature. Some people will put their social media links, but I don't really care about growing my social media that much. I care about getting in front of other platforms that are already grown. So it says, P.S. Liz is looking to get on more podcasts this year. If you know somebody, we'd appreciate a connection. And that has gotten me so many interviews, and I've made a lot of friends that way too.
Oh, I love it. Like just simple things. I love it. Okay. So now that, my other question is, so when you were emailing people about this RV product that you came out with, like what did that look like for them to I know there's a strategy behind like the conversion. So they're on your email list, you develop a product, but can you walk me through that process of like letting them know about it? Is this the first time that you tell them about this product and then they buy, or is there a process that you just start building up to it?
Yeah, y'all, this is like so bare bones. I always say I'm a 2-step chick. If it takes 3 steps, I'm out. And so I was learning, listening to YouTube channels and podcasts like this. And I was learning, about pre-launch and making sure people know that you're creating something, right? We learned this, y'all, I'm a big music fan. I'm going to move, I've got NSYNC in the background. Normally I'm wearing some kind of merch. I don't have any merch on today, but I love that industry and the way that they launch stuff, right? They're like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So that's exactly what I did with my first digital book. I said, hey, I've got this idea. Does this idea sound good? And they were like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. That's definitely what we want. And anyone that replied, a positive, I sent them, I sent them a paypal.me link for $10. I was like, oh, well, great. Just pay me right now and I'll create it. Because that's what they tell you to do, right? They tell you to pre-sell. I was so ignorant. I didn't have much of a strategy, but that's what I heard. I said, price what you're worth. So I was like, okay, it's going to be $20, but if they pre-order, I'll sell it to them for half off, $10. And I got 2 people to send me that, $10. And y'all, I was married at the time. I didn't even have PayPal. I had to use my then husband's PayPal link. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just made $20 out of thin air. And that's the day that I started writing that book.
Oh my gosh. I love that. You just sent them, if you thought that was good, or pay me for it. This is awesome. Okay. So now, and that's also proof of concept. That means someone will actually pay me for this, and you have to deliver it now. So now I'm creating something that I know is going to sell, or at least I have an idea that it probably will. Okay. Exactly. So now that we get into email marketing for someone, and I know a lot of my members are working on creating an email list, could you recommend to us, it look like? So I know we can talk about lead magnets too, but how do you first grow your email list? What would you recommend to do?
So growing your email list There's a million and one ways to do it. You can YouTube it, you can search it, but pick the one that works best for you. You know, I mentioned getting on calls like this. If you're terrified of public speaking, don't do that one, right? But if you're just because that's going to make you break out in hives. You know, we want your nervous system to be regulated. It's kind of a cool thing, right? So don't do anything that's going to make you jump out of your skin, but do find the thing that works for you. You know, we already mentioned SEO, Pinterest, guest blogging, guest interviewing, ads, things like that, but pick the one that works best for you. But I do recommend everyone, when they're just getting started, post wherever you are most active on social media, post there and say, hey, I'm going to be teaching about XYZ. You know, all my tips are going to be on this newsletter. Join the newsletter, or, you know, like this post if you want to join, and then just follow up with everyone that comments or likes. This is a little bit of, what do they call it? Bootstrapping, right? It's going to take a little bit of time, but that's business, babe. Everything takes a little bit of time, right? It's a good investment in your time. And that's a good way of just kind of jump starting the list. And then you can decide, oh, do I want to go the Pinterest route? Do I want to do the collaboration route, etc.? But I do find, again, the networking is what a lot of people don't understand. I always say, like, raise your hand if you remember like Tia and Tamara or Mary Kate and Ashley, right? Hashtag 90s babe. Right. I saw Donisha says I was an NSYNC groupie, so she knows Tia and Tamara. Okay. So I always, you know, they're different people, but I can't tell them apart, right? That is list building and visibility. They go hand in hand. You know, I know that they're different, but I can't tell them apart. The more visible I can become, the more networking, the more stuff like this, the more podcasting, the more I can be visible in a Facebook group, the more my list is going to grow.
That's so true. And it makes so much sense. Like, if it's going to grow, someone has to know about it. So Amen. What's your ideas about lead magnets? Like, what would you suggest when it comes to like giving someone a reason to come to your, to join your email list? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So y'all, you've got to have a vision for your students, clients, members, right? My vision for you is you make money with email marketing. That's all I care about. I don't care about what microphone you use when you go live. I don't even care if you go live, right? All I care about is your email list and is it making you money? That's my vision for you. And I think of that as, you know, if you're walking across the stage of Liz Wilcox University, that's the degree I'm handing you. So think about that. What is the vision you have for your clients, your students, your members, whatever you call them? Now let's take it back to the first day of class, right? If we've got that degree, that vision for people, what do they need, or what do we need to teach them on the first day of class? That's your lead magnet, right? For example, mine is like, well, you need to learn a welcome sequence. So what is my lead magnet? It's a welcome sequence already written for you. Bada bing, bada boom. That's been my only lead magnet for, I think, since 2019. So almost 5 years. December 2019 is when I created that bad boy. I've never changed it. I get leads every single day. But again, it's thinking with the end in mind, right? It's like when you make a YouTube video, you know, it's like, what do I want my people to learn? And then you storyboard from there, right? You begin with the end in mind. So what, and I'd love to see, I know y'all in the chat, so put what is your vision for your clients and what do they need on that first day of class? That's your lead magnet.
Oh, this is so good. Okay. So, lead magnets are these things that you just would recommend be done in like, what yours isn't an ebook or anything. Is it literally just a welcome sequence?
Yeah, so it's in a Google Doc, y'all, and a couple years in, somebody said, you know, Liz, you should probably put your logo on that. I said, oh, yeah, thanks. So I put my logo on it, and at the bottom, it's also got, you know, like this, you'd love my membership, you know, but it's in a Google Doc. Let's talk about that. Why? Because I know that's what most of y'all are using, right? Think about the format. So a lot of people, let's say your customer base are, you know, busy single moms. Maybe the formatting, you know what they need on the first day of class, but maybe it's not a 5-day email course or a challenge. Maybe it's just a 10-minute video or private podcasts that they can listen to on the way to carpool. Think about the format. For me, the welcome sequence makes sense in a Google Doc because you can just make a copy, type it up from there. It wouldn't make sense for me to have this big, long, hour-long video. I want you to get to work, right? I want you to actually write it out. So hopefully that makes sense. Think about the format.
I love that. Now, okay, let's talk about your membership, because I feel like a $9 membership is just a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't I? Like, how did you come up with that number? Because you will hear all the people talk about, like, oh, you're pricing it too low. I know you've heard all those things. So, like, can you talk to us about how did you land on $9 and why?
Yeah, so there's a couple different reasons. Number one, if we're talking from business sense, I wanted low responsibility, right? I don't want someone paying me $100, $200 a month, because then I feel some type of way when they email me. I feel like I have to email you back right away because, you know, I didn't come from nothing. So if I'm giving you $200 a month, like there's a weight of responsibility there. Yeah. I wanted to be able to turn off my computer guilt-free every night. Also, like I mentioned, I grew up incredibly poor. And I remember what it was like when I started my business, and I was married at the time. And, you know, he thought I was getting scammed. He thought there's no way you can make money without, you know, taking your clothes off, right? And I said, you know, I think there's a way. I think, you know, I don't think this many people are scamming. And I just remember what it was like to spend that $10. You know, it felt like, oh, well, I've got to get my WordPress site up. I've got to pay for site security. I got to pay for this. I got to pay for that. And it was hard to spend that money. You know, I was dedicated, but my bank account was not. I've never had money in my life. I grew up, my mom didn't get past 8th grade. In my senior year of high school, I had 2 jobs. I've been supporting my mom financially since I was 16 years old. Wow. And so money has a lot of weight in my life. And I thought about, there's got to be more people like me that it is hard to spend the money. Oh, just $100, just $2,997. Yeah. It's like, you know, if you got to pick between your groceries and your business, that's really difficult, because you might be invested in the dream, but your bank account, your kids' stomachs, you know, your grocery bill, they don't give a, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so that is why I started the program at $9, and why after almost 4 years, I have not increased the price. And unless the USD plummets tomorrow, I have absolutely zero plans to increase the price.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much, especially when you get to a certain level and then around different people, especially, they have their thoughts about like how you should price things out. It definitely makes you think like, oh, well, maybe I should be doing this because of, you know, of that idea. But I just love how you are just unapologetically like, this is what I do and this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm not changing. Like that is really proud of.
Thank you. Yeah, I have argued, not anymore, but the first year of the membership, my business coach was always like, what do you think about $18? 11, 10.50, you know, 10, 9.75. And I said, no, this just feels right. And I find when it comes to pricing, y'all, price in a way that delights you. It, like, when you can rewind this on the replay, and when she asks me about the price, I start smiling. I love the price of my membership. And y'all, I've done high ticket stuff, and I love the price of that. I had a package that was $7,000, and it brought me incredible joy to do that. You know, I was doing service based, right? I was writing people's emails for them. Oh, and yeah. So when you can price in a way that delights you, that's it's $9 or it's $7,000 and you're going to get X, Y, Z. That's when you can really sell it. That's when that feeling of, oh, I don't want to be sleazy, I don't want to send another email, it just goes to the wayside, because you're like, I'm offering this at a great price that gets me excited about, you know, fulfilling the order, and hopefully, you know, gets you out of your seat, motivated and excited about the price too.
Yeah, I love that. Now, can you walk us through, like, when you were selling your membership, how did it go? Like, what were the first stages you went through? Because obviously this is a new offer. They don't know about it. Like, how did you do that?
Yes, y'all, I did it very just what I just put it out there. Was sitting I was sitting at my desk and it was the day to write my newsletter and it was, oh my gosh, what the heck do I write? And I had just signed $20,000 in contracts for service providing, and I should have been ecstatic. $20,000, that's going to help me and my mom and my sister and so and so for months. But I felt a disconnect. Like I can't tell these people on my email list I just made $20,000. They're just starting out, and I said, well, what can I do for them? And I thought, oh, I could solve the problem I'm having right now. What do I write in my newsletter? I've written newsletter after newsletter. I've owned 2 companies before this one. I've written thousands of newsletters and emails. And I said, well, that's what I can do. I could just write a newsletter template. I've got hundreds in the bank, right? I can pull out all the emails I've written in the last 5 years and templatize them. And y'all, I sent the email. The subject line was called, "Can I have $9?" It's still an email that if you join my email list on the 4th day, that is the email you will get. It's my best performing email of all time. Wow. I think because it's so audacious and silly. Can I have $9? This lady's literally asking me for money in the subject line. How did this get to my inbox? And it was just, hey, I don't have this template written yet. And again, y'all, sell before, you make. Don't spend a million.
Oh my God. So you didn't even have like the...
Y'all, I had nothing. I just had the idea. And I said, and I wrote at the bottom, I said, if you purchase right now, I actually have to go pick up my daughter from school. So nothing will happen. But I promise you, I've got the order. And tomorrow morning, you will have something in your inbox. And y'all, we made like 30 sales. And the next morning I said, well, I better get up early and write this template. And y'all, the membership was in a Google Drive for a year. And I had 1,000 members in it when I said, you know what, maybe I should put this behind a paywall. So it was in Google Drive every single week. I just sent a link to the drive and a link to the specific template. And then of course, after a year, you think 52 templates, it was kind of started to get disorganized in a Google Drive. So I thought, maybe I'll invest the money and put this on a membership site somehow.
Now, how were you getting paid? Like what service did you use? So you say pay me here. Like what was that?
Yeah, I used Samcart. So this wasn't my first product for this business. So I used Samcart. I have since switched to ThriveCart because, y'all, it's $9. So I have to keep my costs low so I can maintain the integrity of the price. So I've since switched to ThriveCart.
Okay. So, all right. So how does the welcome sequence work now into getting people into your membership? What's the...
Yeah. So I've been experimenting some this year, and my welcome sequence has always been just 4 emails. If you go and you get my freebie after this call, you're going to get the same 4 emails that I send out in my welcome sequence. Earlier this year, I kind of added, I think 5 or 6 emails to pitch the membership. And that has worked well. So it's, I think 9, 10, maybe 11 emails over the course of 2 weeks. And the first 3 are just regular emails. And the rest are, reasons they should join the membership. Because I find that, it's $9. Like you said earlier, it's kind of a no-brainer. So I don't feel guilty just saying, hey, you should try this. You should try this. You should try this. Yeah. But I will say I have turned those extra emails off. Now it's just 4 emails and it ends with that "Can I have $9" email? Because I'm gearing up for Black Friday. So I want to grow that wait list. My offer for Black Friday is a little different than the $9 offer.
Okay. Now how, is this every day you're sending out an email or is it every other day? What's the time that you have that's going out from your email list from this?
Yeah. So the four emails I send out every day.
Okay.
And let me see if I want to do y'all justice. So I'm pulling up my kit formerly known as ConvertKit account.
Oh yeah. Also, you use ConvertKit.
Yes, I do. I find that for creators, it's just enough without being overwhelming.
Yeah. I use
What do
ConvertKit.
you use?
ConvertKit.
Oh,
I used to use MailerLite, but for this new membership platform I'm on, they like kind of force you to use ConvertKit, and I actually grown to really like it. So now I promote it too.
okay, great. Yeah, I love it. So, yeah, I'm trying to find it. Of course, I'm on the fly, right? So,
Oh, you're fine.
so this is just, we can go down and we can see, it's immediately one day, one day, one day. So here's that, can I have $9? And then I wait 2 days, I wait one day, wait 3 days, wait one day. So I'm pretty aggressive with it, as you can see. But my real advice to you, if you're wondering what the spacing should be, is, try it out one day. And then if you get too many unsubscribes too quickly for your liking, perhaps space it out a day or two. It's really about experimentation. I find most people, the daily for a few days is fine because I teach something called the email staircase: follower, friend, customer. They're not your friend yet, so you kind of need to introduce yourself, get them used to seeing you on in their inbox. And so I find if you wait too long, they'll forget about who you are, right? Because they're not your friends yet. They don't really, oh yeah, I signed up for that thing.
Yeah.
But we need to, we don't have to be super aggressive like Liz Wilcox. But, you don't want to space it out so much that they don't ever get the chance to know you.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Now, are you comfortable letting us know how much you make a month?
Yeah, so I think at this time, I'm making about $40,000 a month on average, but I want to break it down for you. It's not always $40,000. So what I've done, and this is a great way to reduce churn in your membership and get a lot of quick cash at once, so you can, actually invest in your business. About 9 months into the membership, I launched something called the annual pass. This is my Black Friday offer coming up. And that's where you join the membership for a year, $9 times 12. It's $108. There's no discount, but you get all my other products for free, any that I have or will create in the next year. So I stole this idea from Costco, right? Costco makes almost no money off the stuff you buy. They lose money on their hot dogs, but they're still like a Fortune 500 company or whatever. How the $60 you pay them a year, that's how they make their profit, that membership fee. So I thought, well, I'm not Costco. I don't need land contracts. I don't need servers. I'm not going to pay workers' comp, things like this. So what if I just had kind of this membership fee and you just got in my store and you got everything else for free? And so this increases that monthly revenue on average. So the last few times I've launched it, it's been over a 6-figure launch.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're making, 1,000 or more sales. It's so, y'all, it's crazy off this $9 offer. And so I will say right now I have about 1,600 monthly, like on the monthly, let's look. And that makes it about $14,000 to $15,000 a month, but 3 times a year, I sell that $108 offer, and those nowadays are 6-figure launches. So that increases the price. Or the monthly recurring. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be transparent about that, so you guys know, what's actually possible.
No, that's really helpful, and thank you for that. That's amazing. So the way you get, now this is my other question. So in your membership, is it enough? Because I love how you said, like, you don't have to feel guilty of like not answering an email right away. Like inside the membership, what are they getting?
Yeah, so inside the membership, you get a weekly template. This is the main thing, right? This is the main promise. I will write your email for you. And it's a template. Within the template, you get a video explanation. If you're auditory or visual, that really helps you learn the email. You also get a skeleton outline, which is like bare bones. excuse me, and you get 2 swipes. Those are A+ examples of the template. And I write those from different business perspectives, right? Because y'all, again, I came from that RV background, and I would buy email programs and I would be like, this is just for B to B to B to B to B to, and so on, right? And so I want you to be able to see it. So sometimes this is written from the perspective of a jewelry owner who sells on Etsy. This is written from the perspective of a copywriter, who's looking to get a client. And so you can actually see through all those different points how you would actually use the template. So that's the main thing that comes once a week. You also get once a month Q&A calls. Those are 90 minutes. Come with your questions. Those light me up. I love hanging out with my people. They're only 90 minutes because my sister, who is my assistant, says, okay, Liz, you gotta cut it off at some. I would go all day. Like, I would have just an all day thing because I love it so much. And we've got a Facebook group, which I will tell you guys, for $9, I did not open that Facebook group for a year, because it's a lot when nobody's in there, right?
Yeah.
So once I hit 1,000 members, I said, okay, they can talk to each other. So given that, we talked about, for $9, I can turn my computer off. A lot of the times I'll say, that's a great question for the group. And so that's a great way of redirecting the conversation. And at this point, we have so many amazing community members that they really help each other. So again, it's the weekly template. It's a once a month Q&A, the Facebook group, and also about once a quarter, sometimes a little more, I bring in guest experts. And those are people that I pay to come in and teach something either related to email that I don't personally teach, maybe something like deliverability or how to grow on Pinterest, or it's just has to do with email, or business.
I feel like you are over delivering. So I think.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, what? This is all included. Now, I'm going to wrap this up, but how are you getting people into your membership? What are the top 3 ways or the top ways that you're getting people into your membership?
Yeah, so I will say that this year has been a little different for me. If you guys don't know me, you could Google me and find out that I was on this crazy show called Survivor this year. And so this year I've done very little compared to in years past. I don't know. I would not wish anyone to go on national TV. It's really stressful. But anyway, my main sources are doing things like this. It's great also when people want to talk about the membership, because I'm like, oh, sweet.
Right,
it's not something I ever ask to, can I come in and talk about my membership? Because I don't teach memberships. I teach email marketing.
Right.
But it's great when someone is a fan of the membership. So a lot of private trainings like this. I do a lot of podcasts. And the second way I grow is affiliates. So anyone that promotes my membership gets 50% recurring. Of course, that's only $4.50, but I get less than that, right? Because I'm paying the fees. And that's how I've really, really grown the membership. I usually say, if Gilda joins and she gets Lindsay and Donisha, she's paid for her membership, right? I'm giving her $9 a month. She's getting it for free. So I worry less about, oh my gosh, Whitney, can you make a whole YouTube video and blast it and da-da-da? And I love working. I mean, if you're going to do that, that's great. But I love working with people who are just sharing, with their biz besties and things like that. And I actually have over 1,000 affiliates. And I tend to pay out anywhere from 200 to 500 of them a month.
That's incredible, because you will already think this is a $9 product. She's not going to do any affiliates for this like that because of just the price alone. And I think it's even so smart, because if you think about the marketing that you're saving cost on, that's another.
Amen.
It's just, you don't have to, they do the marketing for you. I mean, it makes sense. If I'm going to make money by just sharing this already great product, and that's why I love affiliate marketing anyway. And I just think
Amen.
What you're doing is incredible at $9 already. And then
Thank
you
you.
think about what can I do to promote this easy offer? And then that's what my mind goes, I'm going to continue to promote this woman, because this is just a no-brainer. And the same people who are watching my video and right here, my members, like, you guys promote her. But I'm always big about like, test it out. Let's see what Liz Wilcox is all about, you guys. Get in the membership.
Thank you. Yeah, the last thing, because I know we want to wrap up and have time for Q&A, is y'all, if you have the drive and a long-term vision, you can make money no matter what somebody says. Somebody might say, oh, $4.50. Liz, you must not be making any money. Y'all, I don't have an upsell. My upsell is join for a year and I give everything else away. That's pretty much my most expensive thing, $100, right? $108. And that's only open a few times a year. Like, you can't even get it most times. But I did the math, and for every $9 I get, I'm able to literally just put into savings $3.30. That wow. There is profit there. And I'm making, last year in 2023, the membership alone made $473,000. And at the end of the year, I had just $160,000 just sitting in the bank with my bookkeeper telling me, well, you got to spend something because otherwise you're going to have to pay the taxes. And so that is the power of creating an offer that you love so much that you can relentlessly share it in a price that delights you, in a price that delights your customers, that, is something that people want to share, right? So I want to leave you with that, and you don't have to go low ticket. Low ticket means volume, right? I've got to do a lot of volume. So if that, is not your thing, that's not what I'm saying, but you can make a living doing the thing that you love. Just go for it. Just try it out.
I love this so much. So I just want to thank Liz so much for coming on and sharing with us today. You guys, I'm going to put the freebie to her email list in the description below so you guys can get access to that and see how this works for yourself and how you can apply these same things to your business. All right, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Bye, friends.